Hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video, I will actually build out a YouTube data API version 3 project which will allow us to search videos based upon a specific date and time. And we will also be rendering out a special feature which is a pagination feature. You will see that on your screen. So I built this interface using Tailwind CSS, and you can see we have, if I reload the page right here, we have a search term where we can actually enter a specific search term where based upon that we can search the YouTube videos. And then we have this from date and to date. And let's suppose I search for a JavaScript project. This is my search term, and then I provide the from date. You can simply check the date and time from this date picker. So let's suppose I select the date 6th March. You can select the time right here, 6th March 2024. I selected the from date, and the to date, let me select here 13th March. So in between these two dates, the 6th March and 13th March, my search term is JavaScript project. So only these specific videos will come as I click the search button. You will see the videos will be displaying right here. We will be fetching the title of the video, thumbnail of the video, the channel who actually owns this video, number of views, likes and comments are also displaying it inside this table. And as you scroll down, per page we are displaying 10 videos, and as you click any of the individual video, the video will play in the, you can see that. So if I basically go to the second page, the next set of videos will fetch, you can see that. So we are currently on the second page. If I want to go to the previous page, I can go to the click the previous button, and now I will land on the first page. So if I want to go to the third page, I will simply click the third page, and now the next set of videos will come right here, and now you can see that. So very advanced project guys, and you will get to know much more about it as I develop this. And if I click the next button, this will also do the same thing. We are currently on the third page. If I click the next page, it will go to the fourth page in the pagination, and now you can see that the next set of videos will be displaying right here. So we are actually using the YouTube data API. So it doesn't require authentication, it does require a API key for fetching the videos. And we are having pagination, so it will automatically calculate the number of pages. So quite a lot of results are returned. So I will show you the logic that I used. I doesn't use any third-party library for integrating pagination. It's all happening inside vanilla JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So we just use a Tailwind CSS to actually build out the UI of this application. Just the simple form and the pagination and the table that you see right here. Apart from that, we haven't used any JavaScript third-party library. It's all vanilla JavaScript. So if you need the full source code guys, you can definitely purchase it. The link is given in the description of the video. And now I will start building this project. So first of all, you do need to enable this YouTube data API version 3. Just go to Google Cloud Console, and first of all you need to enable this API. So just search for this API YouTube data API version 3, and simply click on the enable button. I have already enabled this. And now you need to click on credentials, and you need to create a API key. So as you click the API key, you will be generating that. And so this is my JavaScript code right here, and this is the actual HTML code. So I will now write this code step by step. So I will simply delete it, and let me first of all make a new file here. Let me say YT search HTML. So the very first thing we will do, we will simply make a title here, which is YT search engine in HTML and JavaScript. So we are using Tailwind CSS guys, so you do need to make sure that you include the CDN for Tailwind CSS. So you can simply write Tailwind CSS, it's a framework. Just write Tailwind CSS CDN, and just go to their official website, and they do provide installation. If you go to it, you can just click on CDN and you will get your CDN right here. Simply include the script tag right here. Just after the title, paste it. So now you can use Tailwind CSS inside here. So the very first thing I will do right here, I will change the background color of the body. So BG gray 200. So this will change the background color, and then I will simply get padding as well. So P-4. So inside the div tag, we will actually have a heading. So this will have text to XL, the sizing, and the font will be bold and margin bottom 4. So these are all the classes that I assigned. So the heading will be searched YouTube videos by date and time. So if you open this now, there will be this background will be changed to gray, and there will be simple heading right here. And after that, we just need to have again a div tag, margin bottom 4, and this time we will actually have a label where we will actually be assigning the user. There we can enter search term. So there will be this input field, input type text, and we will be giving this ID to it so that we can target in JavaScript search, and placeholder enter search term. So the user will enter here the search term, and it should be required. The user must enter this, and we will attach some classes, Tailwind CSS classes, border P2, and width will be full. So if you refresh now, the width will be full right here, and you can see that it is taking the full width of the screen. So this class is doing it. So Tailwind CSS makes it very much easy to actually write CSS. And again, we will have another div, margin bottom 4. And this time here we will actually have the date input fields, where we will allow the user to actually select which date and time. We will say from date and time. So we will actually attach a class to it of block md margin bottom 2. So after this, here we will actually allow the user to select the date and time. So type parameter here will be date time local, and ID will be from date input, and class here again border P2, it will take the full width W full, and initial value I will not give it. If you just see initial, the format will be month, day, and year. If you click, the calendar will open, so the user can select their date. So similarly, I will simply copy this one more time, and this will paste it, and this time it will be to date input. So I will simply change this from to 2. This will be changing from to 2. So if you see, there will be two input fields, the from one and the to one. So we have these input fields. Lastly, we will actually have a simple button to actually submit the form. This will be search, to actually search the videos in that time period. So search button, we will give it an ID, and we will have a class here which is BG blue 500, and the color of the text will be white, PX4 PY2, and the button will be rounded, and when we hover onto the button, the background color will change. So BG blue 600. So you can see how easy it is to actually construct interface in Tailwind. So as you hover, it will change the background color. So that's all that we have inside our user interface. The user interface is complete. Now we will actually write the code to actually make the JavaScript. So just have a script tag and yt.js. I will include create a file in the same directory, yt.js. So here guys, first of all, what we will do is that just make sure in the HTML after you embed this button, we also have a div which will have an ID which is results. So here we will basically show all the videos in a tabular like structure. Just give it a div right here. And for the pagination, we will also be having a div tag. Here we will show the pagination buttons. So just give it a class here which is empty for margin top 4, flex, justify, center, item center. So it will be showing it in the center of the screen. That's all. So now our HTML code is complete. So right here in the yt.js file, so we will declare some variables. First will be the API key. So this you need to paste it inside your Google Cloud Console account. So next, page token. This will be very useful whenever you are building pagination. Previous page token. So these two things will be returned in the API response. These next page token and the previous page token. So this is useful if you want to retrieve more results from the API. So we will use these tokens in order to make subsequent requests to actually handle more data, to fetch more data from the API. Uh, so now this API key, you can retrieve it using your Cloud Console. I have already created this API key. So don't copy my API key. I will delete this key after this video. After this, the total results will be 0 by default. So based upon these total results, we will calculate the number of pages that needs to be rendered in the pagination. So maximum results that needs to be fetched on a single page will be 10. So only 10 videos will be shown on the single page. And then the current page. So current page will be 1. As you load the application, we will be on the first page in the pagination. So these are all the variables that we have declared. Now we will also be declaring the references to our HTML elements that we have declared. So get element by ID. So we have given that element an ID of search. Again, from date input document.get element by ID from date input. And lastly, we have the to date input as well. So you can cross check, guys. Basically in the HTML file, we have given all these IDs. If you see to date input and from date input and this ID search. So we are basically getting the references and storing it inside their individual variables, and that's all. And after that, we just need to make sure we bind a on-click listener to the search button as we click the add event listener. So when we click this button, what should happen? So we will be executing a function which will be handle search. So whenever we click this button that you see right here, we have given this ID of search button. So we are attaching a on click listener to it. So we need to define this function now. So we can simply say button clicked just to see if it is working or not. So now you can see button clicked. So it is currently working. So instead of alert statement, we will now be making a fetch request to the backend, to the API, YouTube data API. So we will first of all set the current page to number 1, and then the search term, whatever search term the user has selected. So it will be coming from search term input dot value. So whatever value that the user has written. So we are not using jQuery here, guys. We are actually using the vanilla JavaScript DOM, document object model syntax. So in this way, you can retrieve the value that the user written, and again the from date, which will be from date input dot value, and to date, which will be to date input dot value. So basically we have retrieved all these things in the UI in the JavaScript. Now we need to simply convert these dates to formatted dates so that we can use it in the API. So for doing this, we will declare two more variables which will be formatted from date. New date constructor, we will use pass it from date value and use this function which is toISO string. So you do need to basically convert your dates into this format, guys, just to make sure that you can use it inside the YouTube data API version call. If you don't do this, you will get a error. And same thing, we need to do this for the formatted toDate as well. This is toDate, and also call this function toISO string. So after you do this, we will actually call a function which will fetch the data, and we will basically pass the search term as a first argument, formatted from date as the second, and formatted to date as the third argument. Now we just need to define this function, which will be a simple async function, fetch data. We will have these three things: search term, formatted from date, and formatted to date. So it's a async function, so we can use await inside this. And also the fourth parameter here, guys, will be page token. By default, its value will be nothing, but it will take this default value if the parameter is not passed. In this case, we are not passing the page token, so it will take the default value, which is nothing. But if you do pass the page token value, but it will take that value. So essentially there are four parameters in this function, but we are not passing page token. That's why it is taking this value, this default value. Now inside this, now we will use the try catch block to actually make the fetch call. If any sort of error take place, you can actually console log the error. So inside the try catch block, we will actually make a fetch call, await fetch. So fetch is available in every browser. So we are actually making this HTTP client, using it to actually make a simple call. So in backtick HTTPS, this is the endpoint, googleapis.com/youtube/version3/search question mark q is equal to, and this is the actual query parameter. So whatever searching you are doing, we are basically doing search term, and we can basically do it in the next line. And after this, we can put this and sign, and then we will provide actually the actual key. This is actual API key that you need to perform. So API key, we will define it. We have basically made a variable in the right at the top. We have made this variable API key, so it's a global variable, so we can use it. After this, we just need to also pass the part parameter, and this part parameter will be snippet. So we can essentially hard code this. So snippet, it can have either three values: snippet, content type, content details. You can read the documentation, but for now we are using snippet. And then type, what we are searching. We are searching video, so we will provide here video. And then published at, there is this property published after. So published after, here we will put this formatted to date, and also we will also be having this max results property as well. So how many maximum results you need to put. So we will use this variable that we define, max results, and actually the page token. So page token is nothing because we haven't passed it, so we will simply pass the default value, which is nothing. So page token. And one more thing that I missed, which is published before. So right here, after this type is equal to video, right here we have one more property, which is published before is equal to, and this is the actual from date, formatted from date. So we're basically passing the published after. This is published after, this is from, and published before. So these are two parameters inside YouTube data search API whenever you do it. This is actual endpoint. We need to make a fetch call. After you do this, just come to the next line, and then we will make this fetch call, use await, and convert this response to JSON. And then if I just want to console log it, just to see if it is working or not. And if I try to open with live server and try to PHP project, and I'm searching from 6 March up till 7th March. Click on search, go to inspect element, and it is saying to us that let me see what is the problem. Failed to fetch, it is saying. Requested URL YouTube version 3 search was not found on this server. Oh, I think we made a mistake, guys. We cannot write like this. We do need to write it on a single line. So I will simply shift everything in a single line. So we don't have to have spaces right here. So just make sure that you put it in a single line. So now it is looking perfect. So if I want to run this now, and PHP project, and I'm searching here from 7th March up till 10th March, and click on search here, and if I go to console here, so kindly just refresh the, now again test it. So again this no access control allow origin error is taking place. Failed to fetch. Let me see what is. Let me see. I think I just made a typo mistake right here. Let me cross check the URL that I typed here, which is https www. I missed the www part. www.googleapis.com/YouTube version 3 search question mark q is equal to search term, key is equal to API key, part is snippet, type is equal to video, and published after, and published. Okay, as you see, guys, basically we have double D right here. You can see the problem right here. This need to be 1D, published before. You can see the typo mistake right here, and this one is. So this was, I think, hopefully will be the error. And if I try to refresh once again, and if I check the console, you will see the object is returned to us, guys, and basically we have passed 10 videos, and we are getting the 10 videos right here. That's the array which we are getting right here. Each object basically have some properties associated with this, so we are actually getting the video ID. So this is actual video ID that we are getting as a JSON response, and this is true for everything. You can see that. So in the subsequent request, using this YouTube video ID that we got right here, we will actually make another request to actually get more information about this video, such as YouTube likes or comments, number of views, the thumbnail of the video. So you can see total results, it's about around 1 lakh. Results per page is 110. So we will use this information for the pagination, and this is the actual next page token that we got. So we will use this next page token to actually construct the pagination, and now this is exactly that we want. And now after we got this information, what we need to do is that we need to store this next page token. So next page token is essentially data dot next page token. If it is not found, in that case we will set it to nothing. And then previous page token is also data dot previous page token. If nothing is found, then nothing. So we are storing next page token and the previous page token, which is essential for pagination purpose, and the total results. So how many total results are returned to us? So data dot page info dot total results. So we are actually saving all this information from the JSON response that we got from the API, and then we are actually making another call to a function display results. We will make this function and pass the actual array of videos that we are getting from the API. So data, this is actual data that we got, and this contains this items array, which will be, the length of this will be 10, and we will be displaying 10 videos on a single page. And now we just need to actually make this function which will loop through this array and display the videos on the screen. So now to display this function, display the videos, we will actually make this async function display results. So this will have the videos as an argument right here. So now to display these videos on the screen, we will actually make a results container, and right here we will say document.getElement by id results. So you can see we are targeting it the results ID that we have given. This is a div section where we will show all the videos. We have given the ID, so we are targeting it by its. After this, we will say results container dot inner HTML. We will basically clear out the previous one like this. This line is very important because if you click the display result for the second time, then it will clear out the previous entries. But this line is important. You should write it. After this, in the if condition, we will check if the length of the array videos.length is equal to 0. In that case, we will simply say to the user that result container dot inner HTML. So inside a paragraph, we will simply say to the user, we'll give it a class, tailwind class, which is text red 500, no videos found for the search term. So, and then we can simply return from the program. So we can simply write return. So if the length of the videos are there, we will basically display it. We will create a table dynamically by using document.create table, create element, and we will create this table element. And then we can simply add some classes to it. Table.class list dot add. Basically, we'll add this class of table w dash full. It will take the entire space, and then the border. It will have some border as well. These are all tailwind classes, and then we need to simply say table head, and then document.create element. We'll create the element table head right here, and then table head, and we'll manipulate the inner HTML of this. So backtick symbol, so we can write multiple lines of HTML code right here. So this will contain basically our uh, table headings. First, we will store the title of the video. This will be the thumbnail, video thumbnail, and this will be the channel who owns the video, and then we actually get the number of views that this video got, and the number of likes and number of comments. We will fetch all this information and display it inside the table. So you can basically like this. So we can basically now add this table to the body. So we can say table dot append child table head. We will basically add this head in the table, and then we will actually construct our table body. Table body document dot create element table body, and then we will basically loop through all the this length of the array. So let video of videos So for each video, we will actually create a brand new row. So we can say document.create element tr, and then we will basically say the video. We will fetch the video ID, video.id.video ID. For each video ID, we can basically get the statistics of the video by making a brand new call. As this is a async function, we can basically use the await keyword. For each video, using its video ID, we will make another function which will be fetching the video statistics, and we will pass this video ID as an argument. So we need to simply make this function which will actually uh, make this function just here. It will also be a async function. So outside this, so async function fetch video statistics. So it will actually have this video ID as an argument. So we will actually make a simple fetch call. So this endpoint will be https www googleapis.com/youtube/version3/videos, and then ID. Here we'll paste the ID right here, the video ID that we are getting, and then our part parameter. So this will be equal to snippet. Sorry, this time it will not be snippet, this time it will be statistics, because we need to fetch the videos meta information, which is the number of likes, comments, the thumbnail of the video, URL of the video. So here, most important, the part parameter will be statistics, and here we need to provide the key parameter API key. That's all. So this is actually our URL. I will shift this into a single line, and after I make this call, we will return this await response.json. That's all. This is all that we will have right here, guys, and after that get this information. We will actually get this, basically console log it just to check if we are getting this information or not. If I refresh the application and write here ffmpg tutorial, if I write this, I want to search videos from this 2010 February. I basically pick a very old date, and let's suppose 2012 January, like this. Click on search, inspect element, and you will basically get the statistics for each video. You will see that this is the stats that we are getting right here, the number of comments 656, like count, view count, and also we are also getting this is the actual information that we want, and you can see that. So for each video we are actually getting this information, and so now using this information we need to display this information in a tabular structure. So how we can do that? So after we do this, we can basically create a variable statistics, and we can say video statistics dot items 0 statistics. Pick the first one, and inside this we will say row dot inner HTML, and here we will actually be displaying all these details. So first of all, we need to get the title, thumbnail, channel, views, likes, and comments. We will display all this information. So td tag, and inside this video.snippet.title. So we just need to give it a tailwind class here for the spacing, which is px4 py2, and we will simply copy this 6 more times. So here we will simply change this this ones to statistics only, because in this property we are getting the comment, number of comments, comment count, and then we are getting our statistics like count, view count, number of views, likes, comments, and then video snippet dot channel title in order to get the name of the channel. So channel title. So now to basically display the URL of the video as well as the thumbnail of the video, this will be slightly complicated. In the TD tag, we will actually have the anchor tag. So anchor tag will be, we will give it a href parameter right here, which will be https google youtube.com/watch v is equal to video ID, and this target will be blank, so it will open in a new window, and it will also contain the actual thumbnail URL. So image source will be equal to, so this will be video snippet thumbnails hi dot URL. So we also need to give basically the class here, which is a tailwind class, which is height will be 60, and we do need to make sure a fixed width is given. So style width will be 200 pixel and the height will also be 200 pixel. So after you do this, guys, we just need to add the table body in the, we will simply say table body dot append child row. That's all. It will add this row in the table body. And lastly, we do need to add the table to the actual body, because add the table. So now to add the table, we'll say table dot append child. First of all, add the body to the table, and then we can add the table, which is result container dot append child table. That's all. So if you refresh the application now, your videos will be displaying right here. If I type the FFmpeg project and if I select date here, if you see, basically all your videos are displaying right here, and we don't see the pagination buttons, but we will soon be working on it. You are basically seeing the first 10 videos are displaying it, and this is our channel views, likes and comments, and you can basically change this. If I want to see older videos, let's suppose in 2010 January, and just to verify that it works. So I basically selected 10 years back. I think it's 14 years back. Click on search. It will now be displaying, basically you will see. So you can see that. So it is making a new request and then it is doing it. So it is. So now we just need to work on the pagination purpose, how to actually show the pagination. So right here, after you do this, after we display it, we will basically call a function to actually render the pagination. So this function will be called as render pagination. That's all. So we now need to make this function, which is render pagination. So this function render pagination, So inside this method, guys, first of all, we will say pagination container will get access to the element that we declared in the HTML by document.getElement by ID. Pagination, we have given this ID, and then pagination container inner HTML to nothing. Just reset this, and the total pages, we will basically get this value by using a formula which is math.ceil total results divided by the maximum results. Sorry, this is not total results, the total pages that we are calculating for the pagination. So we are dividing total results by the maximum results. So in this case, total results is the actual value which the user, or which the API has returned to us. And then we divide the maximum results that we are displaying on a single page. So this we have hard coded at the very top. So we are displaying only 10 results on a single page. So that value will actually calculate the total number of pages which will be shown for the pagination. And then we will simply compare that if the total pages value comes out to be smaller than or equal to 1, in that case, we will simply return because we don't need to render out the pages. If the total pages value are greater than 1, in that case, we will say previous button. We will basically call a function which is create pagination button. This function, which will be responsible for creating a button for us, and the value will be previous, and then the second value will be the function which will be executing whenever we click this button. So fetch previous page. So similarly, we will actually be creating another button which will be next button, and this also will be calling this function, and this time the text will be next and the function will be fetch next page. So now we need to create this actual method for actually creating these two buttons of the previous and the next buttons to actually navigate in the pagination. First of all, I will define this function which is create pagination button. So this expects two arguments which will be passed here. First is the actual text and the actual click handler. So right here, we will basically create a button right here, create element, and this will be a simple button we will create, and the text of the button will be equal to the actual text that is passed. And then we will add some classes to the button, tailwind classes, and this we will add basically we will choose the background to be blue, so bg blue 500, and text will be in the white color. Just make sure that you do like this. So text white, and px4 py2, and it will also be rounded. So when we hover onto this button, so hover bg blue 600, and margin from the right position will be mr2. These are the buttons classes that we assign, tailwind classes, and we will assign a event listener as well. So whenever you click this button, we will assign a click handler. So whatever click handler value is passed. So this spelling is right, click handler. Just make sure click handler. So whatever function that you assign right here, this will be the actual value and it will get assigned automatically. So after you do this, we just need to click return button. It will return the button to us. So now we do need to assign these two buttons, sorry, these two methods, fetch previous page and next page. But before that, we do need to create these buttons on the screen. So after we do this, we will have a condition that the previous button will be disabled if the current page is equal to 1. So this logic is very simple. If you are on the very first page, then we don't need the previous button. So that button will be disabled, you can't click it. So if you do navigate to the next pages, then we will enable the previous button. So Same goes with the next button condition as well. So if next button will be disabled if the current page value is equal to the total pages. If we are on the last page, then we will disable the next button because no more pages are there. After that, guys, we will actually add these two buttons in the pagination container: append child, previous button, and also pagination container append child, next button. So if you now see, you will do see as you select your right here, I think at last you will not see the buttons appearing because we haven't added them in the body up till. We do need to add them as well. So pagination container, we do need to add the body as well. So pagination container append child, next button. Okay, we do need to have some values as well in right here. That's why I think we are currently on the very first page. That's why it is not showing. So what we need to do is that right here, after that we do this, we do need to create a variable which is maximum page numbers. So this will be 5. So this value, this variable corresponds to how many pages you want to display. So we need to only display 5 pages on the screen so that to the user. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 5 pages will be displayed. And then we will simply say the start page value. Start page will be equal to this formula math.max 1 comma current page minus math.floor, and then we will divide this maximum page numbers value by 2. This will be your start page, and similarly the end page here will be math.min total pages comma start page plus maximum page numbers minus 1. So this is actual mathematical formula by which we are calculating the start page and the end page. So after we do this, we now need to compare this if condition. If end page minus start page plus 1 is smaller than the maximum page numbers, in that case we need to simply have the start page equal to math.max 1 comma end page minus maximum page numbers plus 1. I'm very weak in math, guys. You can just calculate the logic here, but whichever math logic that we are applying right here to calculate the start page and the end page. So this will be the start page, and then we will simply have the simple for loop to let I is equal to, it will start from the start page and then it will run up till the end page I plus plus. This for loop will be doing. So after this we will have our page button, which is create pagination button. We will convert this to a string, and this second parameter will be a callback function, and so inside this we will actually be calling a function which we will later on write, which will go to page, and we will pass the I as a parameter. So we will here compare that if in the next line we will compare that if the current I value is equal to the current page, then we will simply page button disable true. So this simply means that if we are on the second page and then if the page number is second, then we can't click on the same page that we are on. So if you are on the second page, we can't click the second page once again. This we are disabling it. This is actual logic. And then page button dot class list dot remove. So this we will remove this tailwind class, which is hover background blue 600, and page button dot class list add bg blue 600. These are all tailwind classes, and cursor will be default. So we are dynamically adding or removing classes, and after this we just need to say pagination container dot append child page button. I think this is we need to write this outside. Pagination class list add. So we are here in the for loop. Just wait, guys. I'm just looking at the error, which is guys. Just make sure that you do this. Go to page like this. This line is on the same line. This if condition is separate. So I will uncomment this line right here. So this line basically we will write this function later on, which is we are creating these pagination buttons right here 1 2 3 4 5 6. So basically in the if condition we are comparing if we are on the same page, we will basically disable that button, so we can't click on for the second time. And then after this we will simply also pagination container dot append child, we will add this button on the screen, so page button. And just outside this we will also add the next button as well. So if you basically refresh the browser and if I type anything here, let me now test if the pagination buttons are showing as not. I think it is not showing, but it is saying that fetch previous page is not defined. Oh, sorry. We do need to define these two methods that we do need to define these two methods, fetch page, fetch previous page. So we can just define them, fetch previous page, next page, because JavaScript, you do need to define all your methods because it will create problems if you don't define them. So we have defined these two methods. Now if I pick a date and time here, right here, so you will see basically your previous button is right here. The previous button is showing right here, but your next buttons are not showing. Page button is not defined. Let me see, where is page button? Just search page button. Okay, just uncomment this line. I just made a mistake. And also we need to define this method also, go to page. If you want to go to a specific page in the pagination, this method will be used, go to page, and this I parameter will be the actual page number. So just define that, and now you will actually see your page numbers showing. So now you can see that, guys, it automatically constructed our page numbers. This is, we are currently on the first page, and we can go to the second page, third page. So 5 pages are showing right here in the pagination. We have already configured that. And if I go to the second page, these previous next buttons will not work because we haven't written the code for that. But if I go to the second page, this also will not work because we need to define all these three methods that we defined, which is fetch next page, previous page, and the go to the page specific page. So now what we need to do right here, after we do this, this function will be async. So it will basically write logic for both these functions for our next and previous button. So we will first of all write the logic for going to the next page. If I press the next button, so first of all we'll increase the current page value by 1. So current page plus plus, and then we will again make the same call, search term value, search term input value from date input value. So after getting these two things, we will basically convert these dates that I already showed you. Basically, we do need to convert these dates to a ISO string. So we are converting this, and then we will simply make a simple call to the function fetch data, pass these three things, formatted from date, formatted to date, and next page token. So this next page token, guys, if you are confused about it, because we are already storing it as we are getting the data for the very first time, we are already basically setting these variables. If you see earlier on, we basically store all these variables. Next page token is data dot. So you just need to store it for the very first time, and then automatically it will call the same function again and again. We are calling the same function right here, and this time the page token value will have some value. So again it will make the same call to the API. Again the page token will be generated, and again it will call this function display results, and it will now be displaying the next set of results. So this is a simple logic of pagination, and now I will use the same logic for the previous button function. So right here, this is very simple. I will simply copy this now. The logic for going to the previous page in the pagination is very simple. We paste this, and this time we will go to the next previous page. So we will decrease the current page value minus minus. This code will remain the same, and that's all. Yeah, this and this time, instead of next page token, we will use the previous page token value like this. So rest of the code will remain constant, and that's all. And now we go to the this part, which is slightly complicated, because if I want to go to a specific page in the pagination, then this function will get called. So you'll basically get page number right here in the parentheses. We'll compare it if the current page value passed is equal to current page, or we will have a condition if page value is smaller than 1, or in either of these cases, if page is greater than the total results divided by the max results. In either of these cases, we will basically return. Because if the page is the current page, if you are on the second page, then the last page is reached, then we don't need to do anything. If the page is smaller than 1, then also we don't need to do anything. If the page is also greater than the total number of pages. If we are on the last page, then also we don't need to go to any page. So if the page number is different, then in this case we will say current page is equal to the page number, and then again we will use this, we will convert the formatted date, the same logic, use this method ISO_string. Again we'll call the same function fetch data search input dot value formatted from date formatted to date. And now to calculate the page token value, this is slightly complicated. We need to first of all calculate the offset value based upon the current page value. So current page minus 1 multiplied by 10. This will be our offset. So now in the try catch block, we will actually make a fetch call. This will be the endpoint googleapis.com/youtube/version3/search q is equal to, this is search term, and search term input dot value, and then we will need to provide the key here, API key, which is stored in the key parameter API key variable, and then we need to provide our part parameter, which is will be snippet. This will be the same URL that we used for the first time, published. I will simply copy this. We are just adding one more parameter, which is offset at the very last. You can see we are adding one more parameter, which is offset. So just move it in the same line, close the parentheses, and after this we just need to basically convert this. This returns a promise, so we need to convert this. If the response is not okay, in that case we can throw error that network response is not okay. If the thing is there, we can simply return response.json. This again returns promise dot then their data will be returned to us, and this page token will be there. So data dot next page token, and we'll call this fetch data, and this time we'll provide search term input dot value and formatted from date, formatted to date, and lastly the page token that we received. We're calling this now, and that's all. That's all that you need to do, guys, and I think we do need to use the try catch, so we do need to say catch as well. Sorry, catch. So now no error is there, and I think the application is complete now. So if I want to now try it in the browser, and if I just type here PHP project and I need to search videos from a lower date 13, and just make sure it is larger, so I will pick here 28 20, 25 January 2013 to 28 January 2013, and click on search, and now you can see These videos will come right here. If I go to the second page, you will see that. So if I go to the next, we are there on the second page. If I go to the third page, this will be there. The views, you can see that it is coming right here. And if I go to the next page, it will be there. So this is actual tutorial, guys. If you need the full source code, the link is given. You can directly purchase it from my website. And thank you very much for watching this. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and share this video with your friends. And I will be seeing you in the next video. Until then, thank you very much.